So guys, namaste all of you. Very good morning all of you. Welcome to the class on Advanced Auditing and Professional Ethics. So we are sitting on 4th Feb 2021 and today we are starting with basic introduction and also we are starting with a discussion on weightage of various marks that are various chapters as per our ICA norms and ICA curriculum. So you know that there are some 15, 16 chapters in audit. Some of them are very important from exam point of view, like some standards in audit are very important, like company audit is important, like professional ethics are important, and there are so many other miscellaneous topics which are very important, not because they're repeatedly asked, but because the effort in that particular subject, in that particular chapter is very little compared to the marks you get. For example, if you are reading audit of banks or if you are reading standards on audit. So say for example, you need to read 100 pages for 10 marks. You need to read 100 pages for 10 marks. But there are areas where you can read 5 pages for 5 marks. So don't you think it is smartness to know the area where 5 pages or 10 pages if you read? In the exam, if 4 or 5 marks comes, this is a better area. Everybody focuses on the professional ethics. But do you know, from 20-25 marks, now professional ethics weightage is reduced to 10 to 15 marks. In the last few attempts, if you are observing, more and more questions are not coming from professional ethics. They are giving still 3 questions they are giving. 3 questions they are still giving. 4 questions they might still give. So 14 marks, 15 marks, 16 marks they might still give. But do you know, ICA changed their pattern. Previously, if you focus on professional ethics, 1 question, 4 sub-questions in that question will be professional ethics. So if you are thorough with professional ethics, 16 marks guaranteed there, 20 marks guaranteed there. But now what they are doing, in 3rd question, 1 bit from professional ethics. In 4th question, 1 bit from professional ethics. In 5th question, 1 bit from professional ethics. Like that they are giving. Still they are giving 4 subparts. But now, if you are thorough with professional ethics, my dear friend, that is not enough. The other parts of the question also you should attempt to know. Otherwise you are gone. So in subjects like audit, what is the most required thing is to understand the strategy. And another thing I tell you, I am not supposed to tell this to student. Another thing I tell you, you should know what to read. You should know what not to read. You should know how to read. You should know how not to read. Because it is simple. You are playing boxing here, okay? You are playing boxing and the opponent is ICA. Imagine how careful you should be. The opponent is ICA. You are playing boxing. He is the world's toughest boxer. If you do not know how to punch a kick, your hand will break. Tomorrow, next day, this hand will be there. A wrong kick in the wrong direction will break your hand only. It will not punch the other guy. You should be very careful in your preparation, smartness and strategy. That is the reason I always start my classes with the weightage. My classes are conceptual, not just exam oriented. I teach 100% of concept to the extent I can. But having said that, you should know at the end of the day, what is the weightage of different topics from exam point of view. Though sometimes ICI may deviate from this, percentages, many a times, they will fulfill this because it is given in their website. The weightage, what I am giving you is not my personal analysis. This is given by ICA. ICA has given subject-wise, section-wise, skill-wise marks weightage, if you do not know. Majority of people even do not know. They will ask, sir, is it serious, sir? Yes, they have given subject-wise, section-wise, skill-wise. So I will teach you what it is. I'll start with it. So before that, because it is first, class for this particular batch. Okay, you might have attended other classes with the same faculty, with other faculty, but some of the students, they do not know me. So let me start this with a formal introduction. My name is Pavan Kumar. I'm a chartered accountant, also a qualified cost accountant. I'm a ranker in both CA and CWA. So I have got 4 times All India rank in CA CWA. I have got rank in Foundation Interfinal, and I am gold medalist from ICA. And I'm a National Merit Scholarship winner. I have done ACCA. I have cleared ACCA papers with the global, distinction marks, and I have done post-graduation diploma in financial management, PGDFM. I have done, and I've done my bachelor's and master's in commerce. So this is my background, and academically, I am in this teaching field for the last 15 years. Okay, and coming to the practice side, I'm fortunate enough to have excellent insights both as an articled assistant and after the qualification also. So I have done some very good audits which normal student is not fortunate to have, like RBI audit. I have done Reserve Bank of India audit, State Bank of India central statutory audits I am participated in. ITC audit I have done. So ONGC audit we have done. NTPC National Thermal Power Corporation audits we have done. Air India audit we have done. So I was a part of many major audits where I learned practical facets, and also I have seen many different types of audits, like liquidation audits I have seen. Then the investigations by RBI we have seen, like when a bank goes into liquidation, there is something called DICGC. I think in CA intermediate, when you are doing banking companies provisioning, you might have seen guaranteed by ECGC corporation or DICGC. So these are certain types of investigations we have carried, from that DICGC also. So not only theoretically I know what audit is, I have seen enough also. And also I have done my international financial reporting standards from Ernst & Young Global. EY, I think it is one of the big four and considered to be world's leader in some of the segments of practice. So I have practical exposure from there also. I have theoretical education from there also. I have done my IFRS training there. I worked as a consultant. So I gained practical exposure also, which I will be using in the class. My classes are not completely theoretical. As I told you earlier, it will be interactive. I'll involve you, and it will be practical also. For example, if a situation is there, in theory what it is, in reality what it is, I'll tell you, and we'll be able to bridge the gap also. So that tomorrow if you go to do some audit, say for example inventory audit, tomorrow if you go to do inventory audit, or if you go to do any audit of a banking company or concurrent audit, you will not feel like, "Arey yaar, what did we learn in the class and what is happening here?" That won't happen. So whatever is discussed in the class and what is happening in the real world, there should be, at least maybe major part should be same. Otherwise, I cannot teach 2 into 2 is equal to 4. And in the practice, you will not see what is the distance between sun and moon. In the classroom, they teach you 2 into 2 is equal to 4. In the exam, they'll ask you what is the distance between sun and moon. You will get irritated. Sir, what they are teaching in class and what is asked in exam, what is happening in the practical real world? That will be difficult. So I try to bridge the gap between the theory in the classroom and the examination and the practice. Little difficult task, but I have been doing this for long. So shall we start? We will start with weightages. Put the heading, weightage of marks as per ICA. I write down weightage. Of marks as per ICA. What is the subject? Advanced Audit and Professional Ethics. Okay, so prepare a table, serial number, chapter name, weightage, serial number, chapter name, weightage. Okay, serial number, under that serial number, write down section 1. Serial number, section 1. Under chapter, write down 1. 1. Standards on auditing, SA, statements. And good night, GN. Good night, all. No, not good night, idiot. Morning, 6 o'clock it is, and you are saying good night. GN stands for what? You tell me. Guidance note, correct. Right now, guidance. 2. Audit planning. Strategy and execution. Audit planning, audit strategy and execution. 3. Risk assessment and internal control. 3. Risk assessment and internal control. 4. Special aspects of auditing. In automated environment. 6. Audit reports. Now student will ask, sir, you missed 5, sir. There are no mistakes, beta. It is how this should be written. 5 is not missing. 5 will come in another section. 5 is audit of limited companies, company audit. So I did not miss 5. Write down it like this. Company audit comes in another section. Everybody is getting a panic attack. Write it like this. Trust your faculty, okay? It's not a mistake. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Put one curvilinear rooster bracket. Connect all this and put 25 to 40 marks. 5 will go into second section. So if you read standards on auditing, if you read audit planning, preparation strategies, how to execute the audit, risk assessment, internal controls, then IT, information technology, audit in automated environment, and audit reports, then it will be 25 to 40 marks. Sir, so many marks, sir. Hello, so many topics also, sir. Okay, so section 1 is over. Then put the heading section 2. Section 2 will change pen variety. 5. Audit of limited companies. Six is over now. 7. Audit committee and corporate governance. Audit committee and corporate governance. 8. Audit of consolidated financial statements. Audit of consolidated financial statements. And then 12. Liabilities of auditor. Now again some students will ask us, 9, 10, 11, where sir will come mobile to 5, 7, 8 and 12. Put a curvilinear bracket. It comes for 15 to 20 marks. How many marks? 15 to 20 marks. This is our section 2. Now we'll go to section 3. Section 3. Nine. Audit of banks. comma, insurance companies, and audit of NBFCs, non-banking finance companies. Non-banking finance companies. 10. Audit under fiscal laws. Audit under fiscal laws. 9 and 10. Both this put together will come from 15 to 30 marks. (15 to 30 marks). Next, section 4. Section 4. First one is audit of public sector undertakings. 11. Audit of public sector undertakings. That is 11. Audit of public sector undertakings. Then 13, 12 we have already written somewhere. I think in section 2, 12 is gone. Liabilities of auditor, isn't it? 13. IA, MA, OA. Sir, what is this? IA, MIA, UIA. Hello, tell me what is IA, MA, OA? Let me see if someone tells. Use common sense, you'll understand. Okay. Correct. Internal audit. MA means management audit. Correct. OA means international standards. Right. International standards are not there in your syllabus. Why? You know, our standards, whatever we are discussing now, they are copy paste of international standards only. At least in IFRS, IAS, and Ind AS, you have carve in, carve out. Carve in, carve outs, you know, na? So that is not there in our auditing. In auditing, everything is same. 99.9999% everything is same. I teach ACCA CPA also, no? So it is same. And I am both, I teach ACCA and I qualified also these papers. Like they call it F8 and P7. F8 is like your intermediate, P7 is like final. Okay, chalo, anyway. So internal audit, management audit, operational audit. 11 and 13. 14. Due diligence. Is due diligence, comma, investigation and forensic audit. Investigation and forensic audit. Due diligence, investigation and forensic audit. 15. Peer review and quality review. Peer review and quality review. All this put together 10 to 20 marks. All this put together comes for 10 to 20 marks. Then comes your fifth part. Fifth part. Only one chapter is there. Oruvan Mudaladi. What is this? Professional ethics. Professional ethics. This comes to 10 to 15 marks. So the total will be 100 100 marks. If you consider choice questions, all that stuff, it could be 120 marks. But normally it is for 100 marks. So do you understand the weightage of these topics? Pavan sir, so colorful Pavan sir. Beautiful Pavan sir. Thank you. So this you have copied. Just take 1 minute of time, read the chapters. Then you will get some headache, heart stroke, all these things. These many things we need to read. Yes, we will read all these things. Okay, so we will start with internal audit, management audit, and operational audit, so that it will not be heavy on day one for you. Okay, so put the heading internal audit. Management audit and operational audit. Management audit and operational audit. Okay. Now, before I start with internal audit, I'll tell you one very funny thing. Okay. It happened around 18 years, 20 years back. I was doing articles in a very good form, very decent form, nice form. And I really enjoyed the articleship there. So, a first year article assistant, it might have happened in your life also. Okay. First year article assistant went to a second year article assistant and asked one thing. Okay. Anna, last month I have conducted vouching of one company. So I went, I have conducted vouching of one company. 20 days I was there in that company. I completed and I came. Cash book I verified, vouching I verified, some expenses I verified. This month I went to another entity, another client. There also I have verified vouching. I have done vouching. I have verified some cash payments. I have verified cash book and came. But the first audit is statutory audit. We are giving audit report to shareholders, members. The second one is internal audit. What is the difference, Anna? I did same. That the second year article assistant told. Seriously? I also have been doing same. So he performed so many statutory audits, he performed so many internal audits, but at the end of the day, what is the difference between external audit and internal audit? You don't know. You are doing only vouching, you are doing only verification, you are doing only reconciliations, everything is same. So as an auditor, is it different the way how you are conducting internal audit? For what you are conducting internal audit? What is the scope of internal audit? What is external audit? Are they different? They should be different, no? But one secret which you agree with me, majority of the article assistants, they do not know the difference. You do same. Cash book verification, whether here or there, you do same. Isn't it? Now the question is, when we everybody is saying in chat box, true, I know. When we have a beautiful system of statutory audit and a professional like statutory auditor, what is the necessity of internal audit? One sentence. If you understand this, The whole, the mindset you have been living with for the last 2 3 years since you started your foundation, everything will change, and you started loving internal auditor more than external auditor. You need to understand the concept. You need to understand the concept. Kavya, yes, correct. For management, but it is theory, no? See, for shareholder and for management, why are you doing same thing again and again? Tell me that. I understand. Some student is saying correct answer. External audit is for members, internal audit is for management. That I understand. That means you have read this question in CA intermediate properly. You have understood this. You read this question properly. But our question is about the approach concept. So now try to understand it like this. External auditor, internal auditor. One beautiful answer is to rectify any mistakes before being identified by public in statutory audit. Okay, so that is how internal audit is being done in the companies where you are conducting audit. This looks good, internal affair, this looks good, but you cannot say that this is internal audit. I understand what you told, I understand. Even maybe probably even I might have done like that, but it is not so. So all of you look here, okay, I'll tell you. In the place where you live, whether you are in Bangalore or whether you are in any part of Kerala or you are in Hyderabad or you are in Delhi, do you have Motor Vehicles Act? So there is any law for traffic? Yes, everybody is saying that. There are any rules, regulations and policies like traffic signaling system? When the red light, is on, you need to stop. When the green is on, you can go. Like this traffic signaling system is there. Yes. Yes. Are there any kind of controls that this is one way, this is two way, you can go in this way only, for this road you cannot go? Yes. Now tell me, is everybody following it? Is everybody following everything, whatever is there in Motor Vehicles Act, whatever is there in policies, whatever is there in rules, regulations? Everybody following? No, no. But tell me one thing, if you are driving a car or riding a bike, one Innova is there, one circle inspector traffic is there, 2 3 sub inspectors are there, 4 5 home guards are there. They are stopping every vehicle and they are checking. Will you jump the signal and can you run? Can you hit a person and can you run? So the difference is traffic light is there. It is in red. In the morning, 6 o'clock, you are going to attend your CA final class. You saw this side, no one is there. You saw this side, no one is there. You saw. And the light is blinking 180, 179, 178. Will you stop there, hold for 3 minutes, let the light turn into green, and then will you start? Or because this side no one is there, this side no one is there, CCTV is also not there, camera is not capturing you, you will not get a challan to your house. In metropolitans, that is a big problem. Nowadays, it is coming in tier 2, tier 3 cities also, towns and small places also. That's a different story. So CCTV is not there. So do you think you will wait for 3 minutes if CCTV is not there, if traffic is not there, if police is not there? Normal man, will he wait for 3 minutes and then will he resume journey? Or he will just zing, 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 whine? Tell me why. Is he a fraud? When he is jumping, is he a fraud? Is he doing illegal activity? Is he doing antisocial activity? Is he a criminal? The answer is no. He is just a human being. That's all. He is just a human being. He has an opportunity to do something. He did that. That's all. It is typical nature of a human being. Psychologically, many people does that. Now tell me one thing. You are the same person. Your bike is same. This traffic signal is same. Morning 6 o'clock you are going to office or you are going to attend the class. No one is there. Same traffic signal. You jumped it, and then you went off. Evening 6 o'clock. Same person you, same bike, same traffic signal system, same road, same red light, green light. You are not even daring to touch the zebra line. You are not even touching the zebra line. You are allowing, enough space because one traffic inspector is there and he is cutting challans. This time in the evening, if someone is going little further than you, you use all the beautiful words in your mother tongue to praise his sister, brother, wife, mother, grandmother, as if you are the world's best civilian and the best citizen. And you say, idiots, uncivilized people, their red light is there and this guy is not even stopping. See how he is going. Chia, India will never change. Hello, hold on. Morning, what happened? Do you agree with this? This happens or no? Everybody saying yes. Why? 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 Because morning you were not controlled, evening you are controlled. It is not that morning Satan is there with you and evening Jesus Christ came. Morning there is no control on you, evening there is control on you. Simple. So the basic common sense what we have to learn here is, if you are going to be a businessman, if you are going to be internal auditor, if you are going to be external auditor, if you are going to be a manager, if you are going to be an accountant, if you are going to be an employee or a professional, remember one rule in life. When it is controlled, it will happen properly. When it is not controlled, it will spoil. Check the India movie, the whole movie, you will get goosebumps, you will cry. It is one of the most motivating and inspirational things and all. The moment that Check the India song comes, Maula Mere song comes, you are like, oh. The whole movie, what taught you? The moment Kabir Khan entered, Shahrukh, there is no control in the team. The team has 11 players, that's all. At the end of the movie, what you see is a disciplined, structured team, which is extremely controlled. If it is required, you will catch the collar of the other person and say, in a team, one rowdy will be there, one gunda will be there, and it is going to be me. It is not you. You go to any extent to control. But at the end of the day, your goal, your objective is to win the World Cup. Pavan sir, isn't it wrong controlling people? No. A father controlling a child is never wrong. A mother controlling a child is never wrong. But because of your age, you cannot take it. That is a different story. I understand you are part of the story also. I understand your mom side, dad side part of the story also. But if they are trying to control you, absolutely it is nothing wrong unless they are crossing a limit. Unless they are crossing a limit. In India, what should be the length of your nail is decided by parents only now. What is the length of hair also decided by parents only. What kind of shirts and pants? If your father and mother are giving you liberty, you are privileged. So many, especially maybe in my generation, they used to control for everything. But we never felt, we maybe at that point of time it feels bad, but we understand. Maybe that is required. That is required for so many reasons. Till the time it do not cross a boundary, we have to respect it. So basically, frauds in banks, crime in airports, accidents with flights are extremely less. Do you know that? Flight journey is probably the safest journey in the whole world. Do you know that? The quantity of accidents you see on the road, the quantity of rail accidents, and the quantity of ship being wrecked down, or the quantity of aircrafts going missing, and all these things. Do you know air travel for a normal passenger is probably the safest one if you look at the statistics? Why? Because extremely controlled. Crime in airports. Have you ever heard that crime happened in airports? Unless the government of that country allows that to happen, terrorist activity or allowing to happen. Otherwise, in airports, have you ever seen hijacking? In movies, you might have seen 100 times. In your real life, have you seen? Pavan sir, once it happened in 2004. No, that a country allowed them intentionally. Otherwise, this hijacking and all, it won't happen. You cannot carry a blade. If you look at the airports, the way how they do your physical frisking and screening, you cannot carry a blade. Forget about a rifle. You cannot carry 100 ml water bottle. Yeah? My water bottle I cannot carry. No. If it is international, they will remove your shoes and socks also, and they'll do that. These are called controls. So simple. Where the controls are more, fraud and error will be less. Where the controls are less, fraud and error will be more. That is what you might have learned in your CA intermediate, stating that control risk, control deficiency, weakness in the internal control system. If the internal control system is not commensurate, if the internal control system is not adequate, if the internal control system is not efficient and effective, if the internal control system is not continuously in operation, then the control risk will be high, which leads to high risk of material misstatement, which leads to increased audit risk. So from where the whole story happened, lack of control. So look at the links. Look at the links. Control is not there, error happened. Control is not there, fraud happened. Fraud could be material. Fraud could result in material misstatement. Error could be material. Error could lead to material misstatement. If the material misstatement is detected by auditor, good. If it is not detected by auditor, bold, audit risk. Tomorrow, professional negligence and professional misconduct cases also can come on you. One big fraud is there. You couldn't report it, shameless guy. World will never say, hey, Pavan is gold medalist, no, all India topper, no. He knows everything, no. He has 15 years of experience, no. But poor guy, what to do when conducting this company audit? He couldn't find this fraud here. Very genuine guy here. Pavan guy, look at his face. Nice guy here. Please leave him here. Do you think this will happen? Never. Pavan might have done 99 audits excellent. One audit, if there is a material misstatement which is not detected, my dear friend, technically which is known as audit risk, if it goes beyond an acceptable level, you will be in jail. Welcome to 2021. Your Kingston Cotton Mills case, auditor is a watchdog but not a bloodhound. Take that sentence, put it in your Western commode, flush it off. Those statements died. Auditor is not responsible for that. No. Hello. Now, if you know the law, if you know the ethics, if you know the professional requirements, if you know the regulatory requirements, internationally, Sarbanes-Oxley Act, bolke there is something. COSO framework, bolke there is something. Internationally, if you know, PCAOB, they are taking the auditor's neck and legs and they are squeezing them, like how you know, after washing clothes, you'll spin clothes, no? Like that they are doing. If something goes wrong, beta, forget about your life, forget about your family, forget about your kith and kin, you are in jail. In your life, you will never come out. The kind of frauds that have happened in Enron. Okay, unfortunately in India, this Global Trust Bank or the Satyam's case issue, then IAFL one case is there, then Jet Airways. So even where some mistakes happened from the auditor's point of view also, auditors are roaming on the roads today. But I'm telling you, one day it will come like this white collar frauds, and the default by the auditor, whether auditor is a part of this or not is a second story. If the auditor is part of a fraud, it is a criminal offense. If the auditor is participating in destroying the audit evidence or crafting, strategizing a fraud, no surprise if the auditor is killed in the jail also, through legal system. But my point is, can you genuinely claim that, sir, as a professional of ordinary prudence, after exercising due diligence, skill, care, I am unable to identify that fraud? Do you think you can tell this to judge and you can come out of the court? My answer is, I'm telling you, N-O, no, full stop, period, that's all. Those audits are gone. Now you cannot say, my lord, according to Kingston Cotton Mills happened in, judge will slap you. 200 years ago, judgment happened somewhere in the other part of the world. Why the hell you are concerned about it, right? Today the law is different now. Those days closing stock verification is not responsibility of auditor. Today you have Caro idiot. Today you have explicitly specific points in the Companies Act. Today you have explicit points in Banking Regulation Act. Read. Now you cannot apply Kingston Cotton Mills case. Many cases, I'm not saying only Kingston Cotton Mills case, okay, because I am speaking about this, that famous judgment is there. No, auditor is not a watchdog, but a auditor is only a watchdog, but not a bloodhound. Those days are gone. Even in India, National Financial Reporting Agency very clearly mentioned that auditor is just a watchdog, but not a bloodhound. That sentence you delete from your minds. This is what in a meeting of ICA one person told. Do you know this? So now you should be more responsible. Auditor should be more attentive. Auditor should have, that kind of surveillance, monitoring. That is required. Coming back to the question, in the traffic signaling system, morning 6 o'clock, why fraud and error happened? Evening 6 o'clock, why fraud and error has not happened? Is because of control. So, external auditor is judge. He gives a judgment. He gives a judgment whether financial statements are showing, whether financial statements are showing true and fair view or not. Whether financial statements are showing true and fair view or not. I have a spare battery. Where it is? A student will say, sir, your pen is not working. The class is over, sir. No. If one battery is not working, I will have so many spare batteries. I have 7 to 8 spare batteries. Don't worry. Whether financial statements are showing true and fair view. Now understand the situation. One side shareholders are there, one side management is there. Shareholder is saying, sir, Pavan sir, you know what happened, sir? This fellow prepared a P&L balance sheet, sir. Then if I am the judge, I am asking, Ray, you prepared? Yes, sir. Sir, ask him whether he prepared it according to Schedule 3, sir. Ray, complied with Schedule 3. Yes, sir. Sir, ask him whether all accounting standards are complied, sir. Ray, accounting standards. INDESO, law, financial reporting framework, true and fair is there, frauds and errors are there, material misstatements that affect financial. Chalo bhai, true and fair view. So I have verified whatever he is saying. Management affirmed. So they told something, assertion. We call it management assertion. Directly or indirectly, management told debtors 2 crore rupees, in brackets invisible ink, All these debtors are good debtors. These are collectible. We do not have any doubt that we will not be able to collect this. We sold goods on credit. They are classified as trade receivables properly. This will be received within one operating cycle. In brackets, invisible ink. Management told so many things. But on the face of financial statement, only one line is appearing. Debtors 2 crores. In brackets, invisible ink. That is called management assertion. That is called management assertion. Directly or indirectly, the management communicated something through their financial statements. Now the auditor is looking at the invisible ink. I am making it visible, at least to me as a professional, and I'm saying, oh, debtors are good debtors. Now I called my article assistant, Ray, come here. They said 2 crores, no? Print nikal, schedule up. He said, हाँ sir, I'll bring schedule. Okay, schedule came. Sort it. हाँ sir, sorted. You know, stratification. Okay sir, stratified. Show how many parties are there? Sir, total 28 parties are there. Any party above 1 lakh? Sir. How many parties are there? 4. Send external confirmation. Send external confirmation. Any related party is there? Sir. One party is a subsidiary company, sir. Pull it. Sir, one is associate company. Pull it. Sir, one is joint venture company. Pull it. Sir, one is a directors, key managerial personnel, our MD's relative is having significant interest in another firm, sir. Pull it. In days 24. AS 18. Bring all these things. Apply this procedure, this procedure, this procedure, this procedure, this procedure for this objective, this objective, this objective, this objective. This is called auditor's assertion. Auditor's assertion. Completeness, valuation, completeness, valuation, occurrence. These kind of things. Cut-off procedures. These kind of things, auditor is stripping the debtors 2 crores is there, no? Chopping that into pieces. Like how if you go a butcher in a mutton shop, cut, they'll make it tukdas, no? Sir, what examples you are giving in class? I will not eat, you will eat, no? So like that, I am making debtors into pieces. Then I am verifying it. And I said, after verifying everything, external confirmation procedures are over, this procedure, cut-off procedure over. You know, I verified, vouching is done, verification is done, these processes are applied, those processes are applied. Good. Then I confirm debtors is, ta-da! Like that, I have conducted audit and I am happy, reasonably that the financial statements are prepared as per the acceptable financial reporting framework. All the accounting standards are complied with, legal compliances, any requirements, statutory requirements are complied with, accounting standards and professional, official, regulatory pronouncements by ICA, pronouncements by SEBI in case of listed companies, pronouncements and guidance of banks, banking, RBI in case of banking companies, IRDA in case of insurance companies. So regulatory complaints, everything made. Then I say, I'll take the financial statements. Pavan Kumar and the company. Audit report, Lelo. The financial statements are showing true and fair view. Isn't it a beautiful system? So if you conduct audit, how beautiful the assurance will be. So I really enjoy audits, okay? I really enjoy audits. But of course, I'm into IFRS consulting. I'm not into regular audits now. My partners are there. One partner will take care of taxation. One partner will take care of audits. But by blood inside me, I'm an auditor. Okay. But the problem here is, but sir, everything here is a post-mortem, no? It is a post-mortem. Is the transaction over? Over. Financial year over? Over. Financial statements are prepared? Over. Then you are doing audit, no? Even when you are doing continuous audit also, you are doing only post-mortem. Do you remember prevention is better than cure? Do you know prevention is better than? So why are you allowing a rider or a driver to hit a female on the road or a small kid on the road, and the victim's leg is broken, he is joined into St. Teresa's hospital, and then whose mistake it is, who has to bear the expenses, how the life of this person is to be compensated, what will happen to the future of this? Why are you doing this in the court? Why this person who's riding car and why this person who's the father of the kid, why they are fighting in the court? Why can't you prevent the accident, beta? Why can't you prevent the accident? How beautiful it would be if you prevent the accident, isn't it? Are you understanding my language? Are you understanding what I'm going to tell? That prevention happens with this beautiful guy. This is tan, 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 tan. Internal auditor is police. You understand? External auditor is a judge. Internal auditor is a police. Now, what is the role of police? Compliance. He checks. Check compliance with law, rules, regulations, policies. Observe the behavior. What police does? Observe the behavior of people. Reduce. Normally we write crimes and accidents. There are normal police, there are traffic police. No. Normal police, they reduce the crime. Isn't it? Traffic police, they reduce the accidents. But here, if you are a police who's internal auditor, you reduce frauds and errors. You reduce or report and help in inefficiencies and weaknesses. So basically, there are certain controls in every company. There are certain controls in every company. So these controls are made by management. Okay, evaluated, made by management, implemented by staff. These are evaluated or reviewed or monitored by A. Again, management. One different level of management will be monitoring you. B. Internal auditor. C. External auditor. D. Those charged with governance. E. Audit committee. F. Sometimes external consultants will be appointed. These many people will evaluate whether the policies are correct or no, whether the policies are properly implemented or no, whether proper policies are there or no. All these things. In all this, 90% of the work will be done by this guy. Management will say, Ray, dear internal auditor, we appointed you, no, you do it, Ray. External auditor will say, hey, internal auditor, you are appointed, no, I will apply 610 on you. Placing the reliance on the internal auditor. Now, internal auditor reports to those charged with governance or board of directors and audit committee, no. They will say, okay, you have done, no? Ha, sir. Okay. So, major work here is done by internal auditor. But remember, internal auditor is not involved in designing the internal controls. Internal controls, designing and implementing is still the responsibility of management only. That what internal auditor does, internal auditor will evaluate whether the controls are strong or no, review whether any controls are to be redesigned, and monitor the ongoing pursuit of controls. This is what internal audit is. So if you look at a broader picture of this, external auditor is a judge, internal auditor is a police. A judge comes after the accident happens. So whose mistake it is, whether management is right or wrong, whether the person who is riding the bike is correctly driving or no, all these things he'll collect evidences and he'll see this is correct, this is wrong, this is not wrong. All these things he'll tell after the accident happens, whether the accident happened or no. If at all it happened, it is a fraud or a mistake. If at all it is a fraud, done by who? If at all it is a top level fraud, whether it is happening now or it is an accumulated fraud. All these things external auditor will decide. So external auditor mind is, it is very elementary, early or uncivilized way, unprofessional way of saying external auditor is from management, is from shareholder point of view, internal auditor is from management point of view. These kind of things, maybe as a BCom student or maybe as a CA inter student, if you're understanding the topic like that, it is fine, because someone might have given you a table. This is internal audit, this is external audit. Read. So you remember it like that. But understanding the concept at final level is required, because you are going to be an expert tomorrow. You are not learning the basics of auditing now. So you should know this side also. One student is asking, doesn't it lead to duplication of efforts when so many people do the evaluation of controls, sir? It is required. Even if it is so, it is required. If it is duplication of activity, duplication of effort, let it be. It is required, because you have to tell Mr. Mukesh Ambani, 12 lakh crores is not the wealth your father has given to you. 12 lakh crores is not the wealth your father has given to you. It is the investment of 2 million people. 20 lakh shareholders are also there. Remember, you are major shareholder, you are a big guy, you are Asia's wealthiest person. We agree with you. Having said that, at the end of the day, please do not forget, you are playing game with our money, public money. Government of India invested in you, life insurance corporation invested in you, mutual funds invested in you, pension funds invested in you, retail investors like Pavan XYZ on the roads invested in you. Be responsible. For that, if I need to evaluate you 100 times, it is not duplication of the effort. I will evaluate you 100 times. There will be 20 audits on you. That is required. Your performance, your efficiency, everything will be evaluated. So it is required. It is a part of the process. That is the reason, even when you are Mukesh Ambani also, in the annual general meeting of Reliance, you have to come to the podium and you have to say, dear members, your company, she cannot use the word our company achieved 22.4% return on equity. Hello, you are an agent, remember. Who are the owners? Shareholders. In what capacity you are speaking? As CEO of the company or MD of the company, or if you are speaking about as a chairman of the company or as a part of management, I should forget my 32% stake in the company. Because the other side 68% stake is. So you have to say, dear members, your company achieved, your company declared a dividend, your company. That means I am understanding the concept of stewardship, fiduciary relationship. So it is required, we'll do. So don't worry about it. So guys, because it is first class, I just want to give you a basic understanding, and I do not want to be too much of theoretical, open the book, read that para, read this para. So instead of that, I want you to get, familiar with various terms, what we use in CA intermediate, and try to understand the actual meaning of it. But whatever the stories I tell, whatever the situations I tell, whatever I speak will never deviate the line of the subject. Everything will be within the umbrella of subject only. Okay, I'll not tell you my personal experience when I went to Singapore. Never. No speaking shit, no beating around the bush. If at all, I am telling you one story that is pretty much within the four walls of the class, within the four walls of the subject. So guys, do you understand the basic requirement for internal auditor? Why the internal auditor is required in a company? Why the internal audit is required in a company? You understand? Any doubts before we move to the next part? Super. I'm happy with the participation. Everybody is participating. Everybody is saying, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I ensure till the last day, you'll understand everything like this. So now I have worked very hard and 1 hour, 1.5 hours, I am continuously talking, no? Correct. Now what I do, I will make you work. You are simply sitting and listening Harikatha only, no? Last 1 hour, what you are doing? You might have kept your phone somewhere. You are attending class. Tu bol. So evening you watched Katrina Kaif's dance. Morning you are watching Pavan's dance. Now I will make you work now. Shall we? Are you ready to work? What to do? I'll give you short notes. Many students fail in theory papers or will feel stressed and overburdened in theory papers because you do not know how to read. So I will make you write some short notes wherein you understand that, oh, this is how short notes are to be made. Sometimes you need to write more, sometimes you need to write less, but I prefer to make students write because only by writing you understand theory papers. Okay, so are you willing to take some notes? The notes will never be copy paste of ICI material. I'll never ask you to rewrite ICI material. So some definitions, some bullet points and all will be there. Okay, put the heading internal audit definition. Internal audit is, put the heading, internal audit is, definition, internal audit is an independent management function. In the next bullet point, an independent management function. Pavan sir, can internal auditor be an employee? Guys, you tell me in the chat box, can internal auditor be an employee? Answer is yes. Even your section 138 of the Companies Act also said internal auditor can be employed. You employ a chartered accountant and say he is internal auditor. Internal auditor is an employee, possible, but a very big employee. Okay, employee doesn't mean employee who wash your plates and spoons. Internal auditor is a director level employee. Directors also will be scared of internal auditors. I have seen good internal auditors. Okay, I was blessed to see one internal auditor when I was doing stock audit in ITC. I have interacted with the ITC internal auditor. Gem kind of a guy. You would love to work under those kind of people. Chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretary, has done MBA in some reputed business school, CIA certified internal auditor, and CISA certified information systems auditor. Then he has done CPA. Very nice guy. 20 years, 25 years experience. So director level. Now the question is, Pavan sir, when you are an employee of the company, will you not lose your independence? The answer is no. Still, even when it is performed by employees also, still it is independent management function only. Pavan sir, what is the meaning of independence here? Independence from functional responsibilities. That means internal auditor should not involve in internal auditor should not involve in accounting, should not involve in accounting, should not involve in any other functions of company. What is the meaning of it? The meaning of it is don't do it because you will evaluate it tomorrow. Don't do it. You are not supposed to do it because you are evaluating it tomorrow. Guys, can you tell me with your knowledge, if you are performing something today which will be evaluated by you tomorrow, do you know what is the kind of threat? What is the kind of threat you might face tomorrow as per the International Federation of that Accountants Committee? You might have read professional ethics. Even in CA Intermediate also it is there. Even in CA Intermediate it is there. I'm sure it is not self-interest threat, Muhammad Rizin. It is self-review threat. Self-review threat. So if you do something today, tomorrow if you are evaluating it, it will be self-review threat, no? So don't do it. So independence from functional responsibilities. In small companies, in small entities, what happens, you will appoint, one girl as an employee. Hey, what is your qualification? Sir, BCom, sir. Tally. How much salary you want? Sir, 15,000, sir. 12,000 I'll give you. Okay, sir. What is your role, Sir, accountant, no, sir. But you need to sit in the reception. You will be receptionist also. If call comes, you have to receive. Pavan sir is busy, you need to tell. Okay, sir. You know accounting, na? You will do accounting also. You have to handle cash also. Not only accounting, you are cashier also. Okay, sir. You need to maintain my personal diary also, like my corporate secretary. Okay, sir. So you have data entry operator, come cashier, come receptionist, come accountant, come your company, your secretary, come your head, come your tail, come my head, come my tail. Where is internal control? In small company, when you cannot afford it, is fine. But you took one staff for 12,000 rupees and said, do that, do this also. She said, yes. But you cannot take one chartered accountant into your company and you cannot say, hey, you're internal auditor. But hello, hold on. You need to do accounting also. Cost cutting. You took internal auditor and you said you need to look after accounting. You need to do accounting also. Then the guy asked, am I supposed to do accounting? Am I supposed to look after the process of accounting? Am I supposed to supervise and monitor accounting? The company said, you have to do accounting. You need to pass journal entries. You understand it? Internal auditor will kiss the interviewer with left shoe. Shameless guy, you have given advertisement that you need internal auditor and you are asking me to pass journal entries. Now Chintu will get it out. Sorry, first audit, when I went to conduct audit, my principal auditor told, you're auditor, and a person like you in the class said, external auditor is this, statutory audit is this, and you pumped so much into us, motivated, and the bloods are, the cells are pumping like Dwayne Johnson, and I entered the audit. They asked us to write vouchers, sir. They asked us to prepare ledger accounts, sir. I called my office and said, these people books of accounts are not complete. I came here assuming that P&L balance sheet are there, but cash book is also not ready. Some companies, when manual accounting is there, when the auditor enters, when manual accounting is there, when auditor enters, sir, auditor, come sir, chai, coffee, coffee. Coffee comes. Then he will go somewhere. Then you ask, hey, where are you going? Sir, I will buy a ledger new book and come, sir. Eh? Ledger book, sir. New book I'll buy and come, sir. What? Then he'll bring one ledger book, he'll bring one cash book, and then he will say, sir, all these are vouchers, sir. Then do you know, like a donkey, this article assistant will sit and write T expenses 25 rupees, debit to this account, cash paid, authorization, file it. Hello, hold on. Have you done that? I have done that. Honestly, I'm telling you, I have done a lot of accounting. But the client is small. Client do not have the skill. I helped in accounting. Guys, you tell me, have you done helping in accounting as an auditor? You are actually an auditor, but you helped the client in accounting. Correct? We used to do that, but Companies Act comes and catches the collar and say, Pavan, did you read 144? Ah, sir, did you read 144? Ah, sir, you understand 144? Yes. What is the first point? So guys, do you know section 144? You remember? Sir, section 143, I remember. I love you, sir. Beta tera CA gaya. Forget about CA. You are not supposed to do that. So remember, even internal auditor must be independent of functions. Second one is independent of management's influence. What is this? Access to board of directors or those charged with governance or audit committee, reporting to top level management and audit committee, status of status of normally higher than general manager or vice president, etc. You will not even be general manager. You will not even be chief general manager. In public sector undertakings, I don't know. If you conduct audit of IDBI, SBI, these kind of companies, you understand how big is chief general manager. Internal auditors are above them. I'm not saying about the concurrent auditors. So concurrent auditors will sit in one branch and do. The overall vigilance is there, no? The overall internal auditor he will be far bigger than these people. Director level guy. That is the status you should enjoy. You understand? So independence from management's influence. So his opinions should be respected. It comes from his status. If his status is small, no one listens to him. His status should be high. And the scope is not restricted by the management, because it is agreed upon. It is agreed upon between internal auditor and audit committee or those charged with governance or board of directors, as the case may be. In many companies, those charged with governance will be board of directors only. Management will be different, because management can be branch level also. No? Branch manager is a manager. Department manager is a manager, divisional manager is a manager, accounts manager is a manager. So management can be any level in 3 levels. Those charged with governance will be the top level. You understand? In many companies, it will be same. Board of directors and those charged with governance will be same. But why globally, internationally, those charged with governance is separately used? Why it is separately used? Because in those countries where this international standards and audit were pronounced first, they used the word before 2006, 2007. In India, TCWG was not there. When I studied inter, or maybe rather when I studied final also, those chartered governance was not there. Because global companies, they have a different hierarchy. So they have executive directors. Non-executive directors are led by chairman. Corporate governance. That is the reason we used this language. So what is the definition? Internal audit is an independent management function. This is one. And the balance is the explanation of one. 2, which involves 2. which involves, write down, copy, which involves a continuous and critical, which involves a continuous and critical, a continuous and critical appraisal of, critical appraisal of, continuous and critical appraisal of functioning of an entity. So, how the entity is functioning? Functioning of an entity. Functioning of an entity. With a view to suggest improvements thereto. Improvements thereto. With a view to suggest improvements thereto. And not only you're giving improvements, and add value. And add value to strengthen. To strengthen the overall, governance mechanism. Overall governance mechanism of the entity. Overall governance mechanism of the entity. B. Appraisal of risk management system. C. Appraisal of internal control system. This is how you should understand the definition. This definition is over. Full stop. If you read like this, I'm telling you, no by-hearting, no mugging up, no stress. Actually speaking, memory codes are also not required. Some students are crazy about that lecturer will give memory codes. But memory codes are not required. Your mind is enough to remember 1,000 movies you watched. That means what is the capacity of your mind? So you don't need to, even I give some memory codes, but I tell you, understand the story, visualize, understand the concept. Then why do you need to by heart this, tell me? But Pavan sir, when I open ICI study material, internal control definition will run into 8 lines without full stop. Only comma is there, 8 lines is there. After 8 lines, full stop is there. After 8 lines, full stop is there. But I cannot, beta, that is where you need a lecturer, no? So why am I here? To break that into pieces and to give it to you. That is what I tell my students. Apple, if I give you, can you swallow it? It is not Tom and Jerry, no? In Tom and Jerry, you can swallow the whole apple. But if you swallow, you will die. So a lecturer is required. Cut apple into small pieces and say, beta, khalo, enjoy. So this is what the definition of internal audit is. So today I try to explain you the whole purpose, the story behind the presence and existence, the purpose of the internal auditor. What is the role played by the external auditor in a company like a judge? What is the role played by the internal auditor? What are management assertions and audit assertions? What is in a broader way, macro view of this true and fair, how external auditor does that? And how internal auditor should behave, and what is the textual definition of internal audit. These are the things we have seen today. You tell me, do you understand or do you have any doubts? If you have doubts, I am open for the doubts. If you have doubts, please ask me.